Evans' three-point shot.
It's a towering shot, baby.
Red Bulls takes it to the house.
The following is a production of the Rough Rider broadcast team, a presentation of Watlington and Shires Productions.
Rough Rider fans, welcome to Tuesday night at the pizzeria. It's the Rick Meeks Show, brought to you by Sabine Steak Bank. Tonight, some guests on the program. Tonight, Coach Meeks is joined by our extraordinary kicker, Carlos Hernandez. And we'll talk a little bit about the homecoming game coming up and all the festivities and distractions. We're talking about it here with Coach Meeks from the pizzeria. The coach is in, y'all. Can you dig it?
Welcome, everybody, to the Rick Meeks Show. Here it's live from the pizzeria, and it's brought to you by Sabine State Bank. And first, before we start, I'd like to say thank you to Mooney's Emporium, who just finished their after-hours event at 6:30. They went from 5 to 6:30, had special special time where you could go and see what Shell's been up to, and I thought, dadgummit, we're going to start just a little bit too late to promote that live. But
Dude, I went there Saturday.
Oh, you did?
I did, and went shopping, yes. After we got up, I got up in the mid-afternoon from coming back from that late trip.
Can you tell us what you got? Or is
I
it
bought me a
surprise?
center coffee cup to drink my coffee in to wake up.
There we go.
And they have, of course, I love the scented waxes and stuff that you put in your tea candle thing.
That's right. You told me about that.
And they have an autumn festival. And the thing is, with that particular brand, yes, Shell about it. If you buy one of those things, they actually will feed a kid for a day.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Is it a smell?
Yeah, it's like an autumn
smell?
fall. It's an autumn festival, so it's kind
So
of.
it smells like a porta potty.
It's not a porta potty.
If I went there, I've been wanting to have a shirt made. If I went there, she'd probably do it. Huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. With a flair that you can't get just
Really?
by going to the interweb.
I mean, she should have what I want in there, and so just a St. Augustine type logo and with a little saying on it. That's all there was.
She can fix you up.
There you go.
Well, Coach, 1-0 in district.
1-0.
And when I talked to you in post game, I'm not sure you were really pleased. And I'll just give you a wide open chance to address whatever it is you want to from Friday and from practice since.
Yeah, practice has been good this week.
Good.
We're back focused in. This was a game last year that we felt like should have been a game that we won, and we didn't, and our kids still feel that way. So they've practiced with a little extra energy this week, and
You're talking about getting ready for Rusk.
Getting ready for Rusk,
yeah,
yes,
right.
yeah. But Friday I was frustrated, and the more I thought about it, the more frustrated I got.
Right.
But yesterday before we started practice and in our meeting, I told the kids, I said all week we talked about starting fast, because we didn't do that versus Dangerfield. We resembled nothing in the first half of like we had been playing in Dangerfield. So we talked about starting fast and talking about getting things accomplished, and we did that. We took the opening kickoff, we went and scored. They went 3 and out. We run the punt back. We stop them again. We go score. Another thing that we constantly talk about is the middle 8. So the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. That time frame can really flip a game.
Yeah.
And in the last 4.5 minutes of the first half, we get 2 stops and 2 scores. We come out after halftime, we stop them, and we score. And so, we did a lot of things that we asked the kids all week that we knew we had to do. But then where I got frustrated and where I'm still frustrated is the way we finished the game. And what I mean by that is we were not breathing life into the 11 guys that were on the field. We were at a point that we were able to get some other people in the game, and they deserve their teammates to be pouring into them when they're out there on the field.
I see. Okay.
And they didn't do that, and we got sloppy. And in a result of that, we got sloppy. There was a time we had to punt. Our special teams are a little bit different. Our depth chart's kind of our depth chart. It doesn't change much. So even though some of them had been out of the game offensively and defensively, it was time to go punt, and they were disengaged on the sideline, and we had 9 on the field. And, frustrated with the coaches there, frustrated with the kids for not paying attention. I know we hadn't got to this point yet, but our Friday pillar is trust the process, and the process is be where your feet are and only worry about your job at that moment in time. Well, there's still time on the clock, so there's still a job to be done, and we didn't do that. And so we finished sloppy the last probably 5.5, 6 minutes of the game, and that's just what stuck with me. And we did a lot of really good things throughout the course of the game, a lot of things that we've been working on, our kids responded to. I made sure I addressed that with them Monday because I didn't want them to think, that didn't go unnoticed.
Right.
But there's a bigger picture there. And, those guys are breathing life into our starters. Well, our starters need to be breathing life into them, and we got to do a better job with that. But we are 1-0 in district, and that's what we wanted to do when we took off to Canton on Friday, and we achieved that.
Well,
And Larry was there for the first and only time. He was our play-by-play
I
guy.
got to call the game.
So
It was
you
great.
get to ask a question from personal experience today.
Well, the reason I was going to ask, Coach, is I understand what you're saying here. And reason do you think it is because, the kids maybe, hey, we got the win, we got a little complacent, hey, let the guys play, and they were just maybe not paying as much attention as they stood. And still, even though that, like you say, you're not in the game at that time, you still have to be, on the sideline and be a part of what's going on out there the whole time, too.
Right.
And so I think that maybe they got a little complacent there at the end, and that's probably kind of why you got
Completely
the frustrated.
agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But and the reason I get so frustrated with it is something that we talk about every single day. Because as a matter of fact, I had this conversation with one of our kids today. They were just talking about, how practice isn't fun, and of course it's not.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be.
There's nothing fun about it. There's
Right.
nothing fun about any practice, whether it's football, basketball, track. But there's nothing. What's fun about a sport is the gratification after the game of winning, the gratification of your teammates being successful, and those guys that you practice against all day long. When they're successful, they're successful because of the look you gave them in practice, and that's hard. That's hard to get them to constantly understand that. But when we do, then we've really achieved something. So it's something that we preach every single day, and I think that's why I got frustrated toward the end of the game with that, and we just got sloppy because of the result of it. And there were some things that happened because we did get sloppy, and if we would have just stayed engaged and stayed present, none of that stuff would have happened.
Right.
They still might have scored. I'm not upset about the score.
Yeah.
I was more upset with the way we approached the last 6.5, 7 minutes, and it's just, it's not what I want. It's not what our staff wants, and our kids know that now.
Right. And it's nice that you got family and friends that are out there. You kind of already want to celebrate, but hey, we got to finish the game
That's
first.
right.
Wait till that last bell
That's
rings
right.
out there. But yeah, I do want to talk to you, Coach, because I got the opportunity to watch your quarterback, your offensive line. We're all offensive linemen here. We love the big old boys up front, and they did a great job. And I got to watch, Cash and Caden Dixon just do some beautiful runs and see how fast these young men actually are. And see that offense at work, and I tell you, when it's rocking and rolling, it's a fun thing to watch.
Yes, sir. And we got back to that Friday night. We played fast. We simplified some things offensively to where our kids could play fast. Offensive line did phenomenal. We were really good on first down, which is very key in our offense. We've got to get the defense going backwards. It doesn't have to be a lot, but we just can't get stopped at the line of scrimmage where they can just stand up and reset. We've got to get them moving backwards. 4 to 6 yards. That way they've got to get up off the pile. They got to get back, find their coach. Well, our offensive linemen are just steady moving forward. We snap the ball, and that's huge. Right. First down is a big deal. First down and getting the first down is huge in our offense. If we can accomplish those two things, then we're at about a 92% success rate on points, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown. And so we did that Friday night. Cash was sharp. Caden was sharp. Offensive line played really well once again. And we moved the ball very well.
I like what Chris asked Cash at the end of the game. He said, "Man, didn't even seem like you were really running, but he was running all over the place at just like full speed, and it just like yeah."
It looked casual almost.
Correct.
I know it wasn't, but that's talent, I guess.
Yeah. That's
It
just
makes
the,
me
the
very
fluid motion.
It makes me very jealous.
Right.
But I
didn't look like that.
run to the kitchen. I don't look like that.
Yeah, I run all oblong, and it doesn't look anything like that at all.
Speaking of, we ran to the pizzeria for the traditional pepperoni.
Hey,
Coach.
Coach's pizza. And then what is
But
this contraption you came up
This
with
is a
today?
hamburger, onion, and pepperoni. Which
Little meat
was,
lovers.
Yeah, well, kinda.
You don't have any grandkids, so I know it's not to your kids, so you know.
No, when we were at summer camp, when we would on Friday nights, the closing night of camp, we would run in and get pizza for the camp. But one of the owners wanted that pizza.
Oh, yeah?
So on Friday nights, I got to where I got one too,
Okay.
and it's become one of my favorites. So
There you go.
pizzeria pizza, and then right here, the counselor got us half a dozen of these chocolate.
No, I didn't get it. Those are donated by Will Lucas, Shelby Savings Bank. He is feeling guilty because their ads are about 13 cents each because they're the kickoff sponsor.
And we averaged about 18 kickoffs a game.
Right.
So their ads
They
are
were
getting lower and
like,
lower
they
on
got
the rate.
like,
That's a
Shelby
great rate.
Savings got like 63 kickoff mentions in the first game.
And I tell you what,
But anyway, you go down and see Will Lucas. You go see our buddy.
Yeah, that's awfully nice.
and I had a salad, man. The salad was rocking as always.
This
Salad.
rocks for
Yeah.
Man, that salad.
But I mean, don't forget Jim Sawyer. All the guys down at Shelby Savings. They can, you need a new car. Gosh, these days, or even a used car these days, because they're as expensive as a new car. But go see those guys; they will hook you up.
Very good folks there. And Deb's Boutique, she's not here today. She didn't. Where are the cookies, Deb? But her shop is so cute, and if you're shopping for a girl in your life, whether you're a mom or a boyfriend, that place is got the stuff that will make them look good and feel good. Deb's Boutique, they bring us on Friday night, the band, and tonight they're our special sponsor. We'll hear from them, and we'll be back with more here from Pizzeria with Rick Meeks.
You know, I'm hungry. What is there to eat around these parts?
Well, this is Texas, so you're probably gonna want some barbecue.
Barbecue, you say?
Yes, and the very best you can get's at Yardbirds. You just pull on up to the drive-through window. When you get there, you tell them what you want. They got good stuff.
Do you think that would be good with some scones and a spot of tea?
No, you better leave that in your purse. Get you a beer or a soda pop.
Yardbirds, Tennehaw Street.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Rick Meeks Show from the Pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. We want to say thank you to Steve Waters and his staff there at Sabine State Bank, especially young people. I hope you're watching this, and you're going to hear from one of your own here in just a minute. When it's time to start your banking experience, it's hard to beat the kind of personal attention you get, the one-on-one feel at Sabine State Bank. It's right next to Brookshire's on Hurst Street. They bring us the Rick Meeks Show. And, Coach, I don't know, when you probably work out when it's time to work out at the school, but the Fords and Danbert Column, and he has got some clients that he coaches. I mean, and it's not just about weightlifting. It's about nutrition and the importance of hydration and all those kinds of things. It's not just the Forges equipment. It's also Danbert Column. Check them out on the square. Well, we have a halftime guest we're going to talk to here in just a moment. But before we do, Gaddy's Medical brings us, by the way, those halftime guests. Homecoming. In addition to it being Rusk, a team that we lost to last week, it's homecoming with the festivities and the reunions and the distractions.
Mm-hmm. I try to leave that to you.
Okay. I'll do all the distracting I can. But how do you manage that, and how big a deal is it?
You know, it's we address it right away. I mean, we talked about it yesterday, and same thing I told the kids. Like our job this week is to play Rusk. We're going to let everybody else worry about everything else. You know, my job and the coach's job is to orchestrate a game plan and play Russ. Like I'm not responsible for the parade. I'm not responsible for homecoming queen and king. That's somebody else's job. And I promise I'm not going to cross over into their alley.
We were going to ask if maybe next year
stay.
You could be in charge of the.
I'm staying in my lane,
Yeah.
okay? But I mean that's it. I mean that's what we talked to them about. And there's things that go on through the week, and it's great. I mean it's a lot of really awesome school spirit going on right now, and we have kids partaking in the things. And but when it's time to practice, we gotta separate, and we gotta go practice, and we've done good with that so far. So, but no, it's something we addressed right away. Don't leave that up for chance. Our job is to stay focused on Rusk and get ready for Friday night.
Coach, these are wooden tables. I'm knocking on them right now because I don't want to jinx the fella sitting to your left, who to this point has been perfect when he's taken the field. I mean, so many things have to happen correctly for just an extra point to go between the uprights, between center, between holder, between kicker, and between the rest of the offensive line. But it's just been clockwork.
It has. And part of that is obviously our confidence in Carlos, his work ethic, and the amount of time that he's been doing it. He will, not wishing him away by any means, but he is going to be probably one of our toughest players to replace. I mean, you're talking about a 4-year starter right now.
4 year, I didn't realize that.
Isn't that right? I know
Yes,
3
sir.
for me, but I'm pretty sure he did as a freshman before I
sir.
got here. Was solid last year. He's 100% right now. But just a ton of confidence in this man right here.
Well, I want to ask you some questions. First of all, how much better are you now than you were as a freshman?
Oh, way better. Got a bigger leg, have more confidence, even though I still get nervous before every game. But that's just me. I just work really hard during the summer, kick a lot, more than I need to. But, you know, I just want to be – my goal this year is to be perfect, not miss a single kick this year. And I'm doing pretty good so
Halfway
far.
there?
Yeah.
If he misses one, I'm not firing him. so don't worry about that. Don't
Well, what
don't
do-
put too much
what
pressure
do
on
you-
yourself.
How do you spend practice?
Well,
I know it's they
yeah.
say it's a lonely job, is it?
Well, I have two other kickers with me, and you know, I have a lot of free time because you know I really don't do that much. So in that free time, I go up to the field, work on stuff that I need to work on to get better, like punt, or I'm good with extra point, but all I work at right now is like punt, and that's it.
Oh,
I
really?
just try to get better at the little mistakes I get.
So punting is not
I don't.
your natural thing.
Mm-mm. I really don't like punt.
You've punted well, though.
Yeah,
Coach,
punted
in
all
fact,
right.
in the first half of the Dangerfield game, if we had ended the game with the first half, he would have been our player of the game.
100%, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's the only one that did anything worth a dang.
The other funny thing was when Canton decided to take the 15-yard penalty on the extra point and not on the kickoff. We started chuckling because we were like,
Yeah, but I felt terrible because I picked a point where you were not on the field and we didn't even have the ball to finally say, you know, Hernandez has been perfect this year. And Larry, I thought he was going to strangle me. He said, no, you can't do that. You're going to jinx it. And I went, no. We're not even going to have the ball. And the very next thing, we get the ball, we go and score, and we have a penalty, and now you're back at the kicking a 35-yard extra point. And I apologized in advance. If you missed this, I'm taking responsibility.
Nah.
You
I
would have
won't
been good
miss.
from 65. I mean, that was the best extra point of the year.
It is, yeah.
And you had another one that was from 25. I mean, you had 2 nuclear extra points.
To y'all, it was good. To me, it was all right. I feel like I could have kicked it better, but, as long as it goes in,
Well, I'm glad you feel that.
yeah.
I'm telling you, the other place that it's huge is kickoff. I mean, knowing that we can kick it to the end zone, the majority of the people are not ever going to return it. Y'all have seen the last 2 to 3 weeks, everybody just fair catches it because we run down the field so well, and he has enough hang time and gets it to the goal line but the percentages show the closer, at 25, 20, 15, those percentages go down for the opposing team with points. So the fact that we don't have to pooch kick every time, and we can kick it down the field and kick it to the end zone and kick it out of the end zone, it's a phenomenal weapon.
All right, Rough Rider fans, this is Carlos Hernandez. Hey, Carlos, look into the camera so they know what you look like. There he is. You never know what a kicker looks like. That's brought to you by Gaddy's Medical, and they bring us our special guest and our player talk by Center Motor Company. We'll hear from both of those fine institutions, then we'll be back with more here on the Rick Meeks Show.
Gaddy's Medical Supply is your one-stop shop for all your medical supply needs.
Jack Allen, where's my ankle wrap stuff for my sore ankle?
Your ankle wrap or your Kinesio wrap?
The old guy wrap.
Ah, the ankle wrap. It's in the top bathroom drawer.
Okay, thanks.
If you are recovering from an illness or an injury, Gaddy's Medical Supply can offer you the support you'll need.
Jack Allen?
Yeah?
Where did I put the raised toilet seat?
Check behind the door.
Right.
From crutches to canes to chairs, Gaddy's Medical is there for you.
Behind which door?
The hall bathroom, Dad?
Okay.
Okay, take care of yourself or someone you love with Gaddy's Medical Supply.
At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of
Sandy Cox State Farm is your Shelby County State Farm insurance agent. She and her staff support all of Shelby County's teams. A quick look at Google reviews tells you how her customers feel about her.
I love State Farm. When I moved to Texas, I'm so glad I found Sandy's office. I highly recommend these guys. They're great.
Find her on Tenaha Street, Sandy Cox State Farm. Center Rough Rider football tonight brought to you in part by Covington Lumber Supply, 3 generations and still building strong. Ace Hardware, the place for hardware in East Texas. And Brookshire Brothers. They sold their first bag of groceries when the Rough Riders ran their first play, 102 years strong.
Hey, y'all got a dirty truck.
Well, then take it to Joe's Car Spa for a spa day.
At Joe's, they make 'em shine.
And they're standing by to work with the community.
They was elected best of Shelby County this year, and it's called Joe's, but it probably ought to be called Reed since Reed Grant owns it.
So, Billy Don, when it's time for your car or truck to have a spa day, where do you take it?
I don't know where.
Brought to you by Sabine State Bank, and we're here with Coach, and we're chewing down some pizza every chance we get in a little bit of a break there. But a big thank you to JBI Insurance as we start the next one coming up here. And Coach, we'd like to take this time here to talk a little bit about some of the other sports and things that are going on. Let's keep with the football thing here. How about our freshmen and JV guys? How they coming out, especially what you guys been doing on Tuesday? That's been still pretty good.
That's been awesome. They're playing right now. It's the 3rd week now. Having a lot of fun with it, with the coaches and. And the kids have benefited phenomenally for it. So able to get them a little inter-squad scrimmage along with their game that they play on Thursday. And, man, it's been great. It's been great. Freshman and JV last week both won. 7th and 8th grade did not. They played well, but they didn't come home with a win. Canton's 7th and 8th grade were pretty good. So still getting better on that front. And but our freshmen and JV did a really good job.
Oh, that's good. So did you have to make a couple of trips up there? I know you had to go, but I mean, did you have to make a couple of trips to Canton?
I did. That was a rough week, right? So my oldest played his 7th grade, so he played Thursday night, and we got home around 1:15, and then in the morning, and then went back Friday and got back home Friday morning around 2. So
yeah, it was a long couple of days.
It was a long couple of days, and So anyway, but it's well worth it.
Yeah, definitely, and especially come away with good stuff there too. So also moving on, we know that they're in district play now and playing tonight too. So how's their volleyball squad doing? They seem to be looks like they're coming into their own the start of the season.
They are still playing well. Still trying to break through on that first district win. Our next few matches are a little more favorable for that. But nonetheless, we're still playing really well. Mae Johnson is doing really good things. She's playing well. Have 3 or 4 younger girls that have stepped up and have played very consistent early on and have continued that into district even against tougher competition. So, doing a really good job. Cross country runs tomorrow. They're still running well. Once again, district is October 9th here at Center Country Club. So we're hosting the district meet this year for the varsity and the JV, and then the junior high district meet will be on the Center High School campus.
Nice.
On Wednesday, October 11th. So hosting those, and they're doing a good job. And then tennis is still rocking and rolling. They're hosting Palestine tonight, and once again, Coach Dykes does a phenomenal job.
Right, and too with the volleyball team, I know we got Coach Spike's new in there. She's got a younger, just maybe 1 or 2 seniors in there this year too. So, and I heard something while I was on vacation. I even mentioned this to Coach Barnes too, and it definitely would go for squads that are coming up into it now is trust the climb. I heard that analogy the other day, and I just think how many schools, how many different squads are having it, like St. Augustine football right now, and then volleyball for Center. Just trust the climb, because you're climbing every rung, you're going to get better. So if you trust that climb, it's going to be good.
That's right. You gotta buy into your teammates, love your teammates, and just keep getting better each day. And good things are going to pay off, and good things are going to happen.
Right. Well, I do know too, Coach. You got Russ coming up. It's homecoming and everything. So some of those younger teams will have some games against Russ this week too. I know homecoming for Coach is always like. It's crazy, I know, but you got to get through it there. But some of those younger guys are going to be playing. So, are they going to be playing earlier in the week? Is there any schedule differences or anything?
No, everything will be Thursday. We'll have 4 junior high games here Thursday, and we'll have 2 sub-varsity games. Our 9th and JV will travel to Rusk on Thursday. So 6 total games on Thursday, 4 here, 2 there. But all that'll remain the same, And I will say. Our administration here and different sponsors here do a really good job of taking on the homecoming festivities. They really don't bother me a whole lot with it. So I'm
you got enough on your plate.
Correct. And it's not that way everywhere.
Right.
I'm very thankful for that, and very thankful for Mr. Amy and the ones that take that on. So I'm able to just worry about the game and focus on the things that I want to focus on.
Yeah, get the guys right. And I know I'll probably say this as something to smile about too, but I do want to say this, getting the opportunity to go there, be there with the guys, to call the game on Friday night. I want to say how awesome it was to see the huge band and a huge center following that rode the 2 hours to come watch it. That was just awesome to see on their homecoming night. It was packed.
Yeah.
And it was just great to see all that purple up out there. So
yes,
that's got to make you feel good whenever you see that
awesome.
too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. All right, Coach. Well, thanks a lot for being here with this little update on the other sports. And we're going to get back to some other things with our season-long sponsors like Rough Rider, bring Rough Rider Sports, like Brookshire Brothers. Love me some Brookshire Brothers. Covington, Loving, and Ace Hardware also. So we'll take a little break, and then we'll be right back to, what are we going to, page 2? There we go. Page 2, we'll be right back. Rick Meeks.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the Pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the Pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center. Rough Rider Football is brought to you in part by McAdams Propane Company. Gas up your engines with McAdams. Joe's Car Spa with Joe's. Clean is easy. Yard Birds, the finest barbecue right at the city limit sign on Tenaha Highway. And Sandy Cox State Farm. Like a good neighbor, Sandy Cox is there on Tenaha Street. McAdams Propane Company is your East Texas propane provider. Josh McAdams represents the 3rd generation of a family that has kept clean, efficient propane running to the facilities and farms of the area, as well as to the outdoor kitchens that make life fun. They also have the supplies that make an outdoor kitchen possible. Aware of the community, they have provided a luncheon for the first responders of our area. From the beautiful outdoor kitchen to the important fuel that keeps the engines running, keep your engine running with McAdams Propane and Center. At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. It's a small office.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for Something to Smile About. That's brought to you by Wyndham Family Dental. And they want you to smile.
Wyndham Family Dental right here.
That's it. That's it. Larry Pierce is the poster child for Wyndham Family Dental. Something to smile about outside of outside the lines.
All right. We finished up our 6-week grading period this week. We lost 0 varsity kids. We were 100% passing.
That's great.
That's a big deal.
That's significant.
That's huge.
I mean, it doesn't matter what group it is. If it's a large group at all, having 100%, it's kind of a big deal.
Yes, sir. So,
I've been on UIL academic team that lose at least one.
Right.
That's good.
Well, I mean, practically, that has great. I mean, practically, that means that we're not losing any guys playing. But even more than that, it's just showing that these guys are doing their studies, and it's even something bigger than football. And
that's correct.
That's a huge deal.
Yes, sir.
What you got in place to make sure that happens? I know there's a tutorial system or something.
There is. We run a grade check twice a week, every Monday and Wednesday. And if a student athlete is on there, then they get to visit with me after practice.
So is that something that you have come up with, Coach? I mean, is that something that is done schools or all over, or is that something that you guys implement?
Oh, I'm sure to a degree it's all pretty consistent. The one thing that's been really good about how technology has advanced over the last few years. Used to we'd have to go visit with all the teachers, or a kid would have to take a sheet of paper and go to all of his teachers, and that really inconveniences the teacher.
Right.
I mean, you have 90 athletes headed out into the hallways, and I know they don't all go to the same teacher, but they're going to hit a bunch of them up.
There'll be at least one in 300 Hall where 70 of them go.
And but that was how you had to do it. I mean, I'm not saying that was a bad way. That was the only way to do it. Well, now with our grade book online, I can go on there every single day and run a report, and I don't have to bother a teacher. Right. And I tell the kids, I'm not talking to a teacher, because chances are you're missing work. Like, very few truly struggle with a concept in the classroom if they will just pay attention, take notes, and do what they're supposed to do. I'm not talking to a teacher. And so I'm able to run that report every single day, and I do. The only two that matter for when they stay with me is Monday and Wednesday. But it helps because I have it. I know where it's at.
And they know you're going to look at it, so they want to make sure they want to play. So.
Correct. And the only time I will reach out to a teacher is if over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, a student's grade stays the same. Then I'm just going to ask, is he missing something or what? Because it shouldn't. It should move because of the school's grading policy. There should be 4 to 5 grades that go in over the course of 9 to 10 days. So it shouldn't stay. So, but it's been good for us, and I don't have to bug the teachers.
It's good.
It helps that relationship from me with them. That way, when we do visit, it's strictly discipline issues or other things. I don't want to bother them with grades because they're going to tell me, Coach, he doesn't do his work.
Right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you're right. Because back in the '80s, I remember how my coach found out. Because I ended up in school suspension, so, and he's running that first couple of years, and a little bit knowing I was doing a little bit more exercise after school and practicing. But
I can't bring myself to believe that. We should have earlier in the show told you to have questions for the coach, and that's on me. I forgot to tell you that, but we did get one.
I've got one as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
That came in. So, Coach, talk about. So now that we're in district play. The good news, we didn't lose any athletes to grades, which is a great thing. But you get some guys are banged up, and so around district time, you start thinking about bringing some guys up from the JV or from the sub-varsity levels. Have we done that? Who have we brought up? And talk about the decision about because if they're not starting and playing a lot on Friday night, then there's a cost to not having them play on Thursday.
Correct.
So, have we had to do that? Have we brought some guys up? Who is it? Who can we look forward to? Because we know we've got, like the sergeant Grant Gregory, right? And
Right.
so
He's done well.
but and some of the younger guys. But have we done that for district?
So there's a possibility this Friday that there could be an additional 3 or 4. But the way we go about that one, we are battling a couple injuries. We are getting some kids back. And so we're at a point, and this is kind of the point in every season that you have to make sure your best 11 are on the field. And I've always been a big proponent of I don't care your classification. If you're one of the better 11, then you're going to play. And we are at that point. We're in district. Our next 3 games are huge, but I'm probably going to say our next 5 are because Bullard and Brownsboro are both 4-1. I mean, so they're much improved. But if we move an underclassman up, they're going to play. Now that doesn't mean they're going to play all 3 phases, but they're going to get significant playing time on one side of the ball and probably every special teams. We're not going to move. We're not going to move a kid up in an in-case situation if somebody were to get hurt. So let's say we had 2 left tackles, and one of our left tackles gets hurt. We're not going to move up a JV or a freshman kid to be a left tackle backup maybe. We're going to go play, and if we lose that next left tackle, we're going to have an in-game plan, and then the next week we'll figure out what we got to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you are right. There is a big cost in moving a kid up and taking him away from reps that he knows he's going to get on Thursday night, because there's a constant development with those kids, and we're always, moving puzzle pieces for the big picture. What's 2024 look like? What's 2026 looks like? So if those kids lose reps, they lose development. And so, that's always the base of the conversation. But, yes, there is a possibility of 3 additional kids being moved up this week.
Well, we appreciate that, Coach, and that'll do it for our question time.
Well, I had one question, but that's
Okay.
if that's okay. It shouldn't take too long. Just
we got a
one
few
question.
seconds.
I just got one question. Coach, have you been able to practice in the new indoor facility yet?
We have.
There you go. That's all I wanted to know. Well, that's all I wanted to know.
Great. Well, thanks.
We got in there last Thursday, and we've been in there yesterday and today.
That's
good.
it. There we go. That's it. Quick and easy. That's all I wanted
That
to
was
know.
beautiful. Our game sponsors during Friday and during Tuesday are Sandy Cox State Farm, Yardbirds Barbecue, Reed Grant at Joe's Car Spa, and McAdams Propane. I think we've heard for all of them, but we really appreciate your sponsorship, making the Friday night games and this possible. So thanks, Coach. We
Absolutely.
appreciate you being here, and
I
we
appreciate
will
y'all.
be right back to wrap this all up. Born in Detroit, Maideniff would love to show you the inventory, and if you don't find exactly what you want, he'll find it for you. Ford and Center Motor Company, going farther.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
100 games this year, and they can't beat them.
Welcome back, everybody. This is our last segment. We want to thank Fry's Food Truck, one of our sponsors. They're going to be at Toledo Automotive on Sunday. And then a couple of weeks from now, when they have the Happy Tales Adoption Halloween event, they're going to be there as the food. So bring your dogs, or even if you don't have a dog, just like to watch and look at animals, fine. But Fry's will be there. I think that is October the 16th.
Oh, the Halloween?
Maybe October the 14th. Yeah, the Halloween. You're going to be there, too.
Yeah,
huh?
I think we'll be down around there. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Well, thank you to Sabine State Bank for bringing this show every week. Steve Waters, all of you and your staff, thank you so much to the bank. And to Pizzeria. Your salad was good?
Oh, the salad was awesome. I've been looking for that all week. I talked about it last week.
Larry, where will Don Wall be this week for Game of the Week?
Sorry. he's going to be in Joaquin, the Bulldogs, Garrison Bulldogs, and the Joaquin Rams.
Oh, that's a game.
That's going to be a good one there. In Joaquin, 7 o'clock kickoff time there on 100.5.
Garrison's the number 7 team.
Yeah,
team in the state. You'd think they'd be number 1 in the district, but they're behind Timpson.
I tell you what, Timpson and Garrison game coming up is going to be a good one.
That'll be fun. And where will you be on?
I get to go to Timpson.
Speaking of Timpson.
Speaking of the Bears, we get to go to Timpson for the start of district. We've had the week off the Wolves had come out and do 2-2. So looking good for the Wolves, but we get to start off against Timpson, and so we're going to go see if we can go get them a heck of a game out there.
Timpson homecoming.
Timpson homecoming,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
and so it's going to be good.
Well, we'll be there for homecoming. I won't be. I have the week where I have something I got to do, but Rob and Keaton and Zach and the counselor will all be there. Both Zachs.
Well, we're going to be tomorrow, too, before we go. We're going to talk about
That's
that
correct.
tomorrow, if we can, real quick. The Poultry Festival.
Doodah Parade.
The Doodah Parade tomorrow.
Shires and Larry and I, for part of the time, are going to be there on the square, bring it to you. So you can find it here, and if you forget, go to the radio station.
Yeah, the radio station website, and anytime you're on the website at the radio station, you look for the football helmets, the Rough Rider helmets, you click on it, it'll take you right to the NetSN YouTube channel, and we're going to switch it around, and it'll have the logo for the 47th Annual Poultry Festival. You see that on there, and it'll take you right to the site, and you'll be ready to go about 5:30, I think we're going to be.
And
for
that's
tomorrow.
cool. Yeah, well, no, it'll be 4:50.
About 4:50.
The parade starts at 5. We'll go come on a little bit early.
And as promised, I know we got these great cookies here, but I think I'm going to go ahead and make those world famous peanut butter cookies for Chris. I promised him, so we'll have them out there for him.
Right from Larry Pierce's kitchen to our table. So it's a big weekend, and we hope you enjoy the Reeks Meeks Show live from Pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Thank you to Hernandez, our kicker, for joining us, and a big thank you to Steve Waters at Sabine Bank and here at Pizzeria as well. Be sure to join us Friday. It'll be a little bit earlier. I'm hoping to get on about 6:55 instead of 7 because we're bringing you the coronation ceremony. That'll be the big part of the Cornerstone Therapy pregame show, but we'll also talk to Coach and get you ready for the game as well. At halftime, Bounds Insurance brings you the band. Bounds Insurance brings you the chaparrals. Debs brings you the band, and we'll have our halftime analysis brought to you by East Texas Auto Motor. But Bounds Borders Up Close and Personal segment is not recorded this week. Instead, we will go live to Jason Locke, where we'll meet our 2 alumni of the year. They are Dr. Martha Lou Chadwick Scott and Jen Ilo will be introduced to the crowd, and we'll introduce them there as well. We appreciate Rob Payne and the Borders for bringing us
talk to the
that.
homecoming king and queen too.
We will do that at the pre-game and post-game, as we can. But I'm not really sure when that will be, so I hesitate to
check out through the game. It'll be there
through the game. All right, so tomorrow, Payne's Hardware and Such Like brings you the Doodah Parade. Come watch it, or if you're there or in the parade, you can watch it anytime afterwards as well. Until then, for the counselor, Stephen Shires, for Larry, Pierce, and for the athletic director, Rick Meeks, I'm Chris Wallington. See you next week from the Pizzeria.
Thank you, Pizzeria.
At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. It's a small office, so everybody knows.
Herbie.
Excuse me?
Herbie, my mouth hurts.
What?
My tubes in my mouth.
Oh, you have a toothache.
Yes, a tubes ache.
Well, you need to take that toothache to Wyndham Family Dental. If it can be done in a big city practice, it can be done at Wyndham Family Dental.
Oh, well, thanks very much.
3-point shot.
This will hit the powering